All right, folks, welcome aboard. It's time for NFL Pregame Party, your tailgate for Week 11 in the NFL. Of course, we're going to talk about everything college football, too, because Knox here, and he can't get enough of it. All that and more today on NFL Pregame Party.
Yeah, there you go!
Let's fucking go!
Let's fucking go.
All right, it's time for Pregame Party. I am your host, Joe's Atmosphere, and I'm joined as usual with Knock. What's going on, man? And John Das Wolfen. He got in right at the last second there during the promo at the beginning. Okay, good deal. All right, man. I have been busy. Actually, you know what I spent the whole day doing yesterday? I couldn't get to my drawing board to do my work because I had comic book boxes everywhere. I had started bagging and boarding a bunch of books. So I spent the entire afternoon yesterday watching LSU get beat while I was bagging and boarding about 3 years worth of comic books. There was a time there where I just picked up my stuff from the comic book shop and just threw it in a box, and I went through all those boxes and sorted everything out so it wouldn't be a mess anymore. So I need to do the same thing with my wire discipline with my computer, but that's another story. Anyway, it's good to see you guys. Knock, how was your Saturday? Did you enjoy yourself?
Yeah, not bad. Started with a little local convention that was here. Not much for me. It was an anime convention. I'm not a big anime person, but there's usually like a kiosk there too, and it was a nice way to spend the morning, just hanging around, bunch of nerds,
Bunch of nerds.
like me.
Nothing wrong with hanging with nerds, bro.
Fun. So and then made it home to watch the football games all day.
Cool. And you're going to tell us all about that, I know. John, how was your Saturday, buddy?
It was quiet.
That's good. That's a good thing, man. That's a good thing. Nothing wrong with that at our age, man. We're a little bit older than not kids.
Yeah. I just got the tires repaired on the car. Didn't have to mess, so I don't have to mess with that for winter.
Yeah.
I got my second printer running, so I got my resin printer up and running. So I got the first print. It's in the curing thing right now. It's done curing. I just haven't pulled it out yet.
Yeah.
But
What'd you print?
It's a miniature for Allie.
Okay. Cool. All right. Well, let's get to it. Knoxter, get started. Let me know what I missed yesterday besides that LSU game. I mean, wow, man. Wow. They couldn't protect their quarterback at all against Florida yesterday. It was horrible. Wow. Go ahead, man.
Well, first let's start by just like last week. I have my list here on the right. I'll just keep it there. I'm not going to go over too big. You guys can pause it and check it out. But basically, it starts out with this is the conference races pretty much right now with 2 weeks to go. The top ones are the Power Four. So you got the ACC, Big 12, Big 10, and SEC. Just in alphabetical order, no particular order in general. And then of course the Group of Five: AAC, CUSA, MAC, and Mountain West and Sun Belt. So you can see who's kind of in the lead and then who's kind of like on the outside looking in with the 2 losses in each one. But so I'm gonna start with Tuesday, where there was a really big game for the this was for the MAC. Western Michigan was undefeated in the MAC, and they got beat by Bowling Green. So that was a really good game for Bowling Green for the MAC league lead there. Nothing much on Wednesday night. Just a couple of Miami, Ohio, and Ohio still trying to stand tied in the lead there in the MAC as well. So good game for them to win. And then Thursday night it was kind of a low B game, but 38-31. It was a decent watch. Um, and then Friday night, not too much here. Colorado State still undefeated in the Mountain West, so good for them. Washington got on UCLA. It was a pretty good win for Washington. Um, but that was pretty much during the week. So we got into Saturday. I'm just going to start with go down to the top 25 teams first.
Yeah.
You had
That's
Oregon
why
and
it's
Washington.
listed, so yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so Oregon and Wisconsin. This was a pretty decent game. Oregon pulled it out with a late field goal, or actually they got a touchdown. I think it was late.
Mm-hmm.
No, I'm sorry, it was a field goal. It was, and yeah, it was a close win, 16-13. I know Boise State was hoping they'd stay undefeated because they need that. They had the loss to Oregon as their only loss of the season.
Right.
And them
Yeah.
being at number one helps them. So
has a lot to do with things in college.
So
yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and then you got Ohio State. This was a no nothing game. I saw a lot of memes yesterday about this game being played in a baseball field, and there was one touchdown that was blocked by the fans' heads. They all stood up, and so it was like a corner end zone catch, and nobody saw it live because the fans got up and ruined the shot. So there's been a lot of memes about that one.
Yeah.
Texas, close game with Arkansas, but they pulled that one out 20 to, so they're going to stay in their ranking. Penn State, Purdue. Purdue's the worst team in the Big Ten, so nothing there. First upset on this list, Kansas University over undefeated BYU, number 6 BYU.
Yay!
That was a late game. I didn't stay up for it at all. I woke up and watched the key plays this morning.
The Stormin' Mormons couldn't get it done, huh?
No. So they have one loss in the Big 12, just like Colorado does, prime Colorado. So we'll see what happens there. Kansas goes and plays Colorado next week, so they're probably going to try to play upset again. Game of the day, Tennessee and Georgia. Tennessee just didn't have the offense to pull it off. So Georgia has fully cemented themselves in the college football playoff. There's no way they're not going to make it in now. Their next two opponents are trash. So Tennessee will probably be there on the bubble as well, with now 2 losses. So we'll see what happens there. Notre Dame gets a good win over UVA. I don't care about this game. Alabama over Mercer, one of those dumb games.
Yeah, some of these teams, deep into the pool SEC teams were playing crap teams at the end of the season. I don't understand that.
And there's a couple next weekend as well, so it's ridiculous.
Sad.
Boise State had their hands full with Sandy. The score was a lot closer than it looks on here, 42-21. San Jose State went up. Boise's defense could not stop them. The only ones that beat San Jose was San Jose. They made too many mistakes. Joe, your favorite conversation piece. When you're up by 2 scores and you're inside the 5 and it's 4th and 2, what are you going to do?
4th and 2? Kick a field goal.
Guess what San Jose decided not to do after 2 timeouts?
Kick a field goal?
They did not. So they
failed.
They went for it. They threw it to a lineman who didn't even sniff the first down.
You're up by 2 scores.
Yep. So Boise State goes out in the field. They get the touchdown. They get a pick on the next drive, and they tie it at 14. There's just a bunch of mistakes by them. We had some mistakes earlier as well. So completely changed the momentum of the game for sure. I mean, it was still early on, but still, they could have been up by 3 scores, and they let that win away. And then finally, Ashton Genty had over 160 yards in this game. He had 19 yards in the first quarter. Like, they bottled it out perfectly. It was a perfect first quarter. After that,
San Jose could have pulled this off. They could have beat your boys.
They could have. They absolutely could have. They're 6-3. They're a decent team. It was definitely.
This throws me off so bad. I'm throwing up thumbnails out of nowhere.
Right. But Boise State stuck with it. They didn't let it get to them, and they came back and they made it a good score. So that's good on them. The defense gave up a lot. I mean, it just seemed like, you remember Joe Flacco during that championship run where it just like he threw deep balls and everyone was catching him like sticky hands and stuff like that. That's what it looked like here. San Jose, like the Broncos defense was just nowhere near the wide receivers. It was weird. But anyways, so they still got their hopes alive for sure.
Mhm.
And you got SMU got a good win over Boston College. This was a really fun game to watch, 38-28. So SMU still well within that range in the ACC. Um, they're still tied with. There's only three left in the ACC that can get it. SMU, Clemson, and Miami. Everyone else has too many losses to really be a factor.
Mhm.
Texas A&M gets an easy win over New Mexico State. This was kind of a bum game, but the big game for them is in 2 weeks, Texas. So we'll see how that
Mhm.
goes.
Yep.
Another upset of the day, kind of an upset just because they're unranked and they will be ranked this week, is Arizona State over Kansas State, 24-14 over them. So Kansas State's pretty much out of the rankings. If they are, they're going to be like 25th. So and
Mhm.
then Arizona is definitely going to get in and probably just take their place at 16.
Yeah.
Colorado gets a good win over Utah. This was kind of a bummer for me. New Mexico gets an upset win over Washington State.
Wow.
Yeah, this hurts because this was Boise's best win pretty much, and now
Mhm.
Washington State's probably not even going to be ranked. They're still 8-2, but
Mhm. But
unfortunately, this
still
this this this
losing
is
to
this was one half.
New Mexico
This is
State.
why it was really good that Oregon didn't lose, because if they had both lost, that would have been devastating for Boise State, for sure.
Yeah.
Another upset: Stanford over Louisville. That was a crazy one. Was not expecting that. 38-35 over them with a field goal. Did not expect that at all. So Louisville's going to jump out of the rankings. Pitt tried to upset Clemson, could not do it. Um, you remember a couple weeks ago when Joe Burrow had that like 60-yard touchdown on
Yeah.
the Ravens, I think it was.
Mhm.
Yeah, Klubnik had the same thing for Clemson. Just ran a 50-yard run with a minute left in the game.
Wow.
For whatever reason, they just like one of the things. Where are all the defenders? And there was no one there to
Yeah.
tackle
Where
him.
are they at?
So Clemson, and then Pitt couldn't, with a minute left, Pitt couldn't do anything. So Clemson escapes that one for sure.
Mhm.
Unfortunately for John, they couldn't stop South Carolina's offense at the end of the game.
Yeah, we
No,
don't want to
Uh,
talk about these two games. Just
the
tell me scores.
nope,
well,
gotta mention them. These are two big
well,
ones.
they went ahead. They went ahead. They got the go ahead touchdown.
They
They went
did.
for two. They were three ahead. That last drive, they couldn't stop him with and left Brady with Brady Cook with 15 seconds, and he's not Tom, or he's
Mhm.
not Patrick Mahomes. So yeah, so that was that.
Well, they were up by 4, so it wouldn't have just been a field goal that they needed. It would have been.
Yeah, they needed a
It
touchdown.
would have had to been a touchdown, and Neiman Mahomes wouldn't have been able to do a touchdown in 15 seconds. I don't believe.
South Carolina's you never can sleep on them. They're a decent football team every year. It's just how well they put it together during the
Yeah,
season.
unfortunately they got I think Wolford next week. Like yeah, they got a easy game, but then they play Clemson in the season finale.
Yeah.
So that'll probably be a decent game in a couple weeks. So
Yeah.
and then another upset of the day, Florida over LSU. I was
Yeah.
watching this game and wow,
They couldn't protect him,
LSU.
man. They could not protect their quarterback. He got beat up. I saw him one time on the sideline checking him for a concussion after he got knocked down on a third down. And I was like, my God, they're just beating him up. How many? I think the count of sacks was like 7 whenever I saw it that happened to him. It was horrible, dude. They couldn't protect him at all. And that they played it like it was their Super Bowl, man. They friggin' that quarterback was on for Florida, and he hasn't played that well all year. So, yeah, good stuff.
And then unfortunately for Navy, they're all but out of the race for anything. Once it was 14-0 and Navy lost their quarterback, I stopped paying attention to this game. And 35-0. Unfortunately for Navy, they've crashed and burned like Air Force did last year. So it's all up to Army now. It is set. This game is set. Army, the AAC championship. It doesn't matter what they do for the rest of the season. It is Army and Tulane on December 6th, the Friday night, and that is a set game. That is our first set championship game in about 3 weeks. So that one is
Army.
there. You go.
Wow,
So
I hate that game because I like both those teams. I'm from Louisiana and I love Army. I was a military policeman, so yeah. Well, Hey, may the best team win, but I'm really pulling for Army.
Yeah.
Army being undefeated never happens. So,
Right.
hey,
And they
yeah.
got Notre Dame next week, so we'll
Yes,
see
they
what
do.
happens.
It's
So
going to be tough for
it's
them
not
down
going to
the
affect
stretch
conference
here.
play,
Yeah.
but it definitely affects the CFP.
The easiest game they're going to have down the stretch is probably going to be with the quarterback hurt for Navy. It's probably going to be the Army Navy game. That's
That game doesn't matter. So
I know it doesn't matter. I'm just saying it's probably going to be the easiest game they got down the stretch.
Yeah.
So yeah.
And then so that's
and
the
yes,
top 25.
Keely Chow, I want to recognize you. Yes, go Army, beat Navy. You know it, man.
Yeah, to them it's always going to matter.
Yeah, always.
I always like to watch the close games. So Liberty and UMass. UMass is not very good, but Liberty is kind of overrated. It took them to overtime.
Mm-hmm.
Unfortunately, UMass missed their extra point, and then Liberty did not. So Liberty won.
Wow.
in the first overtime.
Mm-hmm.
And then this game I was watching while we were playing our game yesterday. LA Tech, who's they're 4-6
Who
now,
lost
so kind of an off-season.
on the PlayStation,
but they won. But they won in real life against Western Kentucky, which is really good not really good for Western Kentucky because they were in the lead, tied with Jacksonville State in the CUSA, and now they're 5-1 with Sam Houston. They play Sam Houston next week, I believe, or either Jacksonville State does, I think.
Cool.
So big game next week for those guys. Just kind of take a look and see if there's anything else crazy. Missouri, Syracuse and Cal was pretty decent game. Sam Houston, I've been paying attention to. They went to overtime with Kent State. That was a pretty decent game.
Nebraska lost USC.
Yeah, Nebraska, USC. USC's trying to
why
get that.
couldn't that game have ended up a tie and everybody being injured? Why couldn't that have happened? That would have been glorious, but I guess not. Yeah.
Yep. And then for me, all Big 12 games are must watch at this point. Baylor and West Virginia, 49-35. Baylor just kept scoring. West Virginia unfortunately couldn't keep up. So West Virginia they were like a dark horse in the Big 12 race, but this pretty much just hit the nail in the coffin for them.
Amazing what happens to a conference when you take the two dominant big dogs out of it. Mm-hmm. It's a free for all. What's up?
It really is, especially with BYU losing. And I mean, I have just the two losses. There's some 3 losses that still have potential on here. You got BYU and Colorado that control their destiny, but then you have Iowa State who won yesterday, and then Arizona State that beat up Kansas State. And Kansas State or Arizona State and BYU I think play next week, if I'm not mistaken. And then Kansas, who just beat BYU, plays Colorado. So I mean, there could be 2 lost Big 12 champion. So it was pretty crazy. So Troy, this is kind of an upset. Troy over Georgia Southern. Georgia Southern was leading the Sun Belt tied with Marshall in the East in the Sun Belt, and now Marshall stands alone. Remember Marshall?
Yeah. I think didn't DeMarcus Ware play at Troy? One of those defensive ends for the Cowboys that was really good played at Troy in college. I think it was DeMarcus Ware. I think.
Yeah, I don't know.
Not sure. I have to look it up.
I was watching this one because the Louisiana Raging Cajuns were 8-1, but unfortunately they fell to Southern Alabama, 24-22. Yeah, the Southern Alabama got up 24-3 on them, and Raging Cajuns were slowly grinding it back in, but they just ran out of time. Let's see here. Iowa State University over Cincinnati. That's a good win for them. Keeps them in the race. And that's pretty much it for this week. It wasn't a crazy week, but I liked all the upsets of the mid-tier guys.
And yes, he did play at Troy. DeMarcus Ware, your beloved pass rusher for the Denver Broncos.
Nice.
Yes. I mean, he was a Cowboy for years, but he got a Super Bowl ring with the Denver Broncos.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
So just gonna not pretty short and sweet on that. Just gonna take a look at next week's game to see what matters the most. Let's see. Gonna go to.
You teased us with the Big 12. You better tell us what's going on in that one.
Right. Yeah. The at least to the Mountain West, this is a really big game. UNLV is still in hopes to get in that Mountain West game. So San Jose, who we just had struggled with Boise, hopefully San Jose plays spoiler in that one. If they do manage to win that one, then Boise State and Colorado State have clinched the Mountain West Conference championship games. So kind of a big game there on Friday. So the biggest game of Saturday is going to be Indiana at Ohio State.
Is Indiana still undefeated?
Indiana is one of 3 teams now. BYU lost. There was 4 teams and BYU lost. So now there's 3 teams: Oregon, Indiana, and Army left that are undefeated.
Tulane's undefeated too, right?
No, they are not. They are undefeated in there. So this, I'm sorry, I have this over here. The records over here are just conference records.
Conference records,
not,
okay.
Yeah. So
That's
they're, I believe they're 7-2 or wait, 8-2, something like that. So I only, because of, in college only the conference record matter as far as the championships go. So
right.
That's all I put over on my list over here.
Gotcha.
So yeah, we are down to 3 undefeated teams. So a lot of people are talking about the disrespect for Indiana being at 5, even though they're undefeated. Well, it's mainly because their strength of schedule is like ranked 100th and something. Like
right.
They haven't played anyone, and the argument is, if it was a Michigan and they were undefeated, they'd be number 1 right now. So there's a bit of a brand thing going on. So, well, here you go. Here's your chance. Literally the number 2. Can you go to Ohio and beat number 2 team in the country? This is it. Like this is their chance, and so they've had a bye week to prepare for this. So this is the biggest game for them, and the biggest game. They've never been 10-0 before, so they've definitely never been 11-0. And to hit 11-0 and beat Ohio State would be pretty crazy.
I'm pulling for them because I hate Ohio State.
I think everybody
not in the
Ohio
world
State
is pulling for them. Yes. Go Indiana.
When it really torques me off in the NFL when they enter in on the shows when they introduce the players and they have to go the Ohio State.
Yeah,
there's more than one Ohio State.
Have you ever noticed every big game they always play in the Horseshoe? They never are on the road for any of their big fucking matchups. Never. It's don't get me talking about the fuck eyes. Yeah, I called them that. Sorry, Ohio folks. Look, it was a huge rivalry down here whenever LSU would play them. Okay. And when they played against each other, I think they played each other in a national championship in the last couple of decades, because I worked at Libby Glass and we're based out of Ohio. And, their best producing plant was in Louisiana, and they were always coming down to see us, and they always had their Ohio State shit on. Every time we had a furnace rebuild, there was Ohio guys all over the place. And you want to talk about some shit talking and betting going on between people, between those states. It was crazy. How you doing, Gridiron Masters? Good to see you. Go ahead, Knock. Sorry about that. I just wanted to put in my little 2 cents about the. Yeah, I hate Ohio State. Sorry.
So Florida, coming off of that whomping of LSU, has Ole Miss. So hey, another chance to play spoiler here. Ole Miss is pretty cemented in that after their win against Georgia. They're pretty cemented in the college playoffs. So this could derail that. We need some SEC teams to lose. If you look right here, you got Texas and A&M Texas that play each other in the end. They both lead the SEC, and then everything else is two losses: Georgia, Tennessee, Ole Miss, Alabama. So that at the end of the year, we could have 5 teams with 2 losses in the SEC. How they're going to figure that out, I have no freaking idea.
It's going to be hard to do strength of schedule because, there's a whole chain.
They all played each other.
You beat them, but you didn't beat them. Blah, 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 blah. Yeah,
it could be who they lost to, who has the worst loss here, which I guess maybe Ole Miss. And Tennessee, they both lost to Kentucky and Arkansas. I don't know how you pick. I don't know. That's going to be a tough one for sure. I think when they get to that, they go to computer algorithms for that kind of stuff, but I'm not sure how the SEC does it.
Yeah. Hang on, real quick. Let me recognize the chat. Killy Chow says, for all you Miami fans watching, Miami will never be really back as long as they're an Adidas school. Until then, there's only one U, and that is the University of Alabama Roll Tide. Oh God, Killy Chow.
Okay.
Yikes! You go, man. You go, big elephant. Go. All I can tell you is the rest of us are glad to see you guys come back to the pack. Okay, that's all I got to tell you.
High tide, guys. High tide.
Go ahead, Knox. Sorry.
So we got SMU at UVA. UVA is not a bad team; they're not great, but SMU should continue to stay undefeated in the ACC. Just kind of looking here. This is a big game. Sam Houston and Jacksonville State. That's a huge game. for the CUSA. Jacksonville State's still undefeated, and Sam Houston only has one loss in the conference, so this is a big one for them. Huge game for UMass at Georgia. This is a stupid game.
It is a stupid game.
There's nothing here. UGA, Georgia basically has this one, and then they have Georgia Tech for their Georgia Tech next year. So, not much there. Georgia Tech is actually pretty decent. They were the ones that beat Miami, so maybe another chance. You're facing your Georgia rival. They're a pretty decent team. So we'll see what happens.
Yep.
And of course, Tennessee gets a UTEP, which okay.
Come on, man. What's with the cupcakes at the end of the schedule?
Right. Yeah, they need to change. I think there's some talks of like a Big Ten and an SEC matchup where they start playing each other more. So I'm hoping maybe that'll fill some of these spots. I'd rather see Georgia and Oregon here.
Here's an idea. Maybe they're giving these guys a little bit of rest, an ability to play some of their depth chart before the playoffs start. Maybe that's the thing.
I guess, but they have two playoffs, or they have 2 bye weeks now.
Right.
So they have all of these teams have a bye week within the last month.
You understand where I'm going with that? I mean,
Well, I'm just saying.
Sure
when
the playoffs.
I would agree with you if they didn't have a second bye week.
Right.
They get a bye week, so this whole resting thing it just seems like a little much. This is a big game for the CUSA as well. Liberty has 2 losses, so their only chance is to help some teams lose, so they get to play one of those teams, Western Kentucky. So this is a big game for the CUSA.
Yeah.
Let's take a look here. Let's see. Arizona TCU might be a decent game to watch. Let's see. Kentucky and Texas. Texas should handle them. Penn State and Minnesota. Minnesota's not bad. They're already bowl eligible, so this is might be okay. These 2 games right here. As I mentioned before, Big 12. This is what you want to watch. BYU, who just came off that loss, are now undefeated. They'll be ranked probably in the teens. Maybe I can't see them falling too far, but they'll probably get like 11th or 12th. And then ASU, Arizona State, will probably be in the upper teens as well after that big win over Kansas State.
I'm a Sun Devil, man.
Yeah, so this is going to be a good rank on rank game, and it's going to be for the Big 12, a chance at the Big 12 championship. And then here, Kansas, coming off that win over BYU, has a chance to play spoiler with Colorado, who also controls its destiny. So
as much as I don't like Kansas, yeah, that would be fun to see them pull it off.
It'd just be great to see, because right here in these 2 games, you have 3 of the top teams right here. So it's a little crazy there. So that's going to be a fun time at 3:30. Of course, Clemson beating Citadel. I mean, come on. Whatever.
Come on, man.
Wisconsin and Nebraska. This might be a decent Big Ten game right here. Might be fun to watch. UCF
whole pack of Badgers needs to get all over Nebraska.
UCF and Western Virginia. This is another Big 12. Just fun game. I feel like Big 12 has turned into like the Pac-12. Like they're supposed to have better defenses, but really it's just good offenses. A lot of points basically. Let's see. Taking a look, Pitt and Louisville. I mean, they're both pretty much out of the ACC race, so not much there. Here's South Carolina and their Wofford.
Come on.
Let's see.
Oh, Tech's in trouble this week. Oh. No.
Yeah, Arkansas. Yeah.
Oh no.
Mizzou's not going to be ranked, and they're playing the worst team in the SEC. So they should get a win there, but
don't sleep on Mississippi State, man. They'll jump up and bite your ass.
Nope, not them. The game of the week for a lot of people: Army at Notre Dame at 7 p.m.
Oh, come on, Army!
NBC.
Beat those dudes.
Cannot wait for this one. Definitely be watching this one. Of course, I'll have this game going on, but it was not as big. Wyoming is not as great, so this should be.
If you can't win that knock, you don't need to.
It would drop us out for sure. But the only other really competitive, group of 5 right now is Tulane and Army. So, yeah. So Boise State is most likely Tulane.
Who my beloved punching bag of the SEC, Oklahoma Sooners, are playing. this week.
Yep.
Oh no.
Yep, and that's pretty much let's see, yeah, yep, Alabama. Well, they
Oh.
got to go to your house at least, you know. You never
Yeah,
know.
but dude, it's not gonna help. It's gonna
um,
be a good couple of years before we're any good again.
yeah, so we'll
Thanks a
see what
lot, Lincoln
happens
Riley,
there.
you prick.
Hey, I'm still rooting for an upset. I'm always
I
looking
am
for an
too,
upset,
but
and there's a
I'm
chance
just
for it.
saying,
It's
dude.
not completely without outside the realm.
Mm,
And then of course Iowa State needs to get some wins still,
mhm.
so over Utah. So we'll see how that goes. Vandy and LSU might be a decent game, both pretty much out of the race, but still relatively strong games. Cincinnati
Yeah.
and Kansas State both pretty much out of the race, but might be a decent game. It's
You
Big
think
12.
LSU's gonna keep stay ranked after yesterday?
No, no,
No.
absolutely not.
Okay.
No, they lost to an unranked team.
I got
Uh,
one more question for you. I don't see Tulane. Are they on a bye this week, or
they
I didn't
may
see
be.
them? They must be because I didn't see them anywhere in there, buddy. Don't
Oh
worry
my
about it.
God.
You don't have to investigate it or anything.
I'm
We'll
pretty sure.
discuss it.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure they are. I think I was pretty much done anyways.
Yeah.
Virginia Tech and Duke, USC and
Who
UCLA.
cares about the California teams?
Yeah, I'm interested in this Colorado State and Fresno just because Colorado State is undefeated in the Mountain West. So
There you go.
we'll see what happens there.
Okay.
But yeah, that's pretty much it for college this week. It was kind of short and sweet because a lot of smaller games, a lot of smaller upsets, but still upsets, and um, but we're starting to see a little bit of a difference between the championship guys and the mid tier teams.
Brian Kelly must be dang mad at pounding tables. Yeah, look, man, you can coach it all day long, but it's up to Jimmy's and Joe's, and there's something wrong with their front line. I mean, the quarterback for LSU, what's his name, Nussmeier?
Mhm.
Yeah.
He got beat up. He needs a medal for playing yesterday, dude. He got smoked by Florida's pass rush, and they were only rushing 4 people. I was actually paying attention. They were only rushing 4 guys. So yeah, it's pretty bad. It's pretty bad. Now,
Just to answer your question, Tulane is out, and then they have their last game of the season against Memphis, but they're already locking the AAC, so they have a bye week, and then they could rest guys in that game, like you mentioned before, if they wanted
right,
to, because
right.
the game is of no consequence. Outside, I would say the biggest consequence would be they still have that chance to get the group of 5, so they would need to beat Memphis in order to stay in that race. If they do not beat Memphis, yeah, they would make the AAC, but
Mhm.
there's no way they'd be ranked high enough to beat out Boise State, even if Boise
Right.
State lost. So Tulane still needs to win that game against Memphis for
Yes,
sure.
absolutely. Yeah.
And
But hey,
Memphis
man,
is not playing
pull
for
for the green
anything.
wave. I am.
Yep, Memphis unfortunately lost too many games in the AAC to be a factor, but they'd like to play spoiler, and they're
Oh, they
8
can
and 2
play
right now.
spoiler. Oh
They're
yeah.
8-2. They have a great offense, so it's. Mhm.
If you play that college football game and you're playing a team in that conference as a team in that conference, those guys play like the 49ers the first year you're playing them, man. They just do not give up for shit. I don't know if that's based in reality or what, but Gridiron Master says LSU's quarterback deserves a Purple Heart. Yeah, he does. Nussmeier does. I
Wounded
mean,
Warrior.
he really did. Watch the film, guys. He got beat up in that game. It was ridiculous. Yeah. Anything else? I mean, pulling for. I want to see a great ACC championship game between Tulane and an undefeated Army. But it's going to be tough for them to beat Notre Dame, dude. It really is. But Notre Dame is, as we say, is usually overhyped. So we'll see what happens. But I'm looking forward to that game. I'm actually going to turn on the TV and watch that one next Saturday. I'm going to be pulling for the Black Knights big time. Anything else about college football before we move on to the pros, to the grown-ups?
Yeah, I'm trying to pull up the last rankings, and I'm having a lot of luck with it. So it's going to be kind of small.
Okay, no problem.
But this was the rankings as of last Tuesday.
Okay.
Right here, you got Oregon at 1, Georgia 2, Miami 3, BYU 4, and then Ohio State 6, Texas 6, which that doesn't sound right. No, that was the first one. I'm sorry.
That's cool.
I think this is it. Yes, or because Texas was second.
Okay.
Now Ohio is ranked number 2, but they're seeded 5th
Okay.
because it's all based on seeding, and Oregon has the number 1 spot, which means they would be the Big Ten champion. So that's
Right.
why the highest Ohio can be in the seedings
Is
number
5, and they're going to have to play in the first round. Yep.
And
Yep,
so BYU is going to lose a spot. Well, they're still going to be number 3. I think they were ranked 6, but seeded 3 because they're the top team here. If they drop below Boise, Boise will actually come in and probably take that number 4 spot. And
Gotcha.
there's a chance that Boise could be seeded number 4 this Tuesday. It depends on how far BYU drops. If they drop below 13, Boise is ranked 13th. They're only seeded 12 because they're the last remaining group.
Boy, you really are glad Oregon's winning, right?
Yeah. So this is going to be this ranking is going to be very interesting. A lot of this is going to be the same. I think Georgia's going to be in here. We'll see if Tennessee is still in here. Tennessee was ranked 7th, but dropped to 8th seed because of the seedings. So we'll see if Tennessee is still in the top 12. But other than that, this is mostly going to be the same. Miami was idle. Indiana was idle. Penn State and Ohio State had crummy games. Ole Miss, I think, was idle as well. And Alabama played an FCS school, so not much there. And then Texas got their win over Arkansas. So,
but you know what? If Army pulls it off, is that Notre Dame right there with Texas?
Notre Dame, yes. Notre Dame is ranked number.
That would be awesome.
Notre Dame is ranked number 8th right now. They're seeded 9, but they are ranked number 8th. So if Army, what's crazy, Joe, and I didn't realize this until earlier, there's a doomsday scenario where if the Big 12 champions lose out, there's a chance, and Army wins out, there's a chance Boise and Army get in, and Big 12 is eliminated altogether.
Whoa!
Not even in the CFP champion.
The Big 12, first year of the college playoff, has the possibility of not having a representative.
Yeah, it's doomsday. Colorado would have to lose a bunch of games. BYU would have to lose. Arizona, a lot would have to happen, but there's a chance.
Yeah, I hear you.
And that's why we watch it.
So you're saying
there's a chance.
I
am saying there's a chance. So that's what we got going on. Can't wait till Tuesday night.
Making the end of the season pretty exciting, and it's also the reason why we're kind of bummed that a lot of these schools are playing cupcakes.
Man, they need to be playing each other.
Yeah,
they need to be playing each other. This is stupid.
Yeah,
and the SEC is. That's crazy. The SEC is.
That's because the SEC is the deep end of the pool, baby. That's dude. I could go on about this for half an hour. There's a reason why they're the best conference in college football. Period.
But we need more Big Ten versus SEC games.
Yes,
especially later on in the season when they matter.
Right.
They tend to like to do those non-conference games early in the season, which I think doesn't really help anybody because when you lose early on the season, it doesn't hurt you as badly as it does later in the season.
Yeah.
I mean, look at Clemson. Clemson lost to got beat up by Georgia like 30-3. And now they're close to getting back into their championship. They're in the top 20. And Notre Dame lost to Northern Illinois, very early on, and they're number 8. And Northern Illinois is like in the last in the Sun Belt. So I mean, or whatever conference they're in. So we need some more meaningful games at the end of the year rather than just conference.
Right.
Just so we can actually see how some of these teams stack up against each other rather than early on.
Well, we're going to find out. All right. Thanks for that report, buddy boy. I know you love it. We were playing our game yesterday, and while we were playing our game, it was a national championship game. We've got a dynasty on the side. We're all 3 in one of them, but I don't even play those games because we played on a different level, and I'm just too old for it. But the one that me and Knock play on rookie, he's watching 6 games while he's playing me. I'm like, dude, you're a freaking computer. This is ridiculous. All right, so let's get to this week in the NFL. And we have to start with Thursday night's game between the Washington Commanders and the Philadelphia Eagles. And the Commanders couldn't pull it off. And from what I saw, now you guys know I work on Thursday night, so I try and catch as much as I can. But it just seems to me that the Eagles, their Saquon Barkley makes them a different team. And Washington, keep doing what you're doing. You're just missing a number 2 wide receiver, I believe, and experience. This is a young football team still. And they've got learning to do. We saw how they lost against Pittsburgh. I mean, the defensive lineman couldn't hold his water, so they could try and get the ball back. And in this one, they just ran out of time.
Washington's going to be scary next year.
They are going to be scary once they get the experience, and Dan Quinn will give them that. I guarantee you, these last 2 weeks for them, he's got tons of teaching tape to show them. I still dig watching what they're doing, but I'm wondering if Daniels may be a little beat up because he's throwing a lot of worm dirt. Did you guys know that? Notice that during the game?
Yeah. He wasn't looking as in his top.
It was not as sharp as he usually is. He may be a little dinged up, and they may not be talking about it too much, because we've seen him throw a lot better than he did in that game. But look, hats off to the Eagles. I just don't trust the Eagles, though. I just don't. They're playing good defense, but Saquon Barkley is just.
Yeah, this is the same. This is the same Eagles team as last year.
Yes,
with one big difference.
One big difference. A player that can make those huge holes. You got to give it to the Eagles. Their offensive line may be the best run blocking offensive line in football because they open huge lanes for a running back to get through. But now you add to that Saquon Barkley, who can add 20 yards to any decent run. And wow, it's explosive. It's ridiculous. And they don't even have to throw the football.
Well, as the only one that picked the Eagles to win, I had a feeling.
Well, I mean,
I do like what the Commanders have been doing for sure. I just didn't think they were quite ready yet. I think everything they've been doing so far has been, what's the right word? Forgive me. Overachieving. They have been overachieving. This is not expected this year. It's a pleasant surprise, but this 7-4 is a pleasant surprise.
Yes.
So it was not expected coming into this season to be ready this year to be like this, and now they're making a playoff. Like this is a playoff push.
They haven't had their bye yet, have they? Oh God, that's ridiculous. Wow, man.
He needs it. He needs that week to rest.
He does, man. That's what I'm saying. I think he's a little bagged up.
If he would have been at least playing in normal form, I don't think it would. I don't think the Eagles would have pulled this out.
Yeah.
There's at least 2 touchdowns that they missed because he threw short.
I just don't trust the Eagles. I just don't. Hurts is playing well, and the thing about Hurts, he is so fucking strong, man. He reminds me a lot of Steve McNair. I mean, people just seem to bounce off of him whenever he's running. When he pulls it down and runs, and he doesn't run fast, but when somebody's coming in for contact, he braces for it. You'll see him stop and become just a monolith that they have to try and take down, and they'll fucking bounce right off of him, and then he just keeps going. He's not the fastest dude in the world. He's just big and tough.
Well, luckily for Washington, they have Dallas next week, so you might as well call it a bye week.
All things will be set right.
Is it Dallas at home? Is it Dallas at home?
It's not. They won't have to play with the curtains on. It's in Washington.
Oh, man. Yeah, this whole thing, I should have pulled up some of the memes for that, man. It's just too good.
Do you know Jake Paul has more wins in Arlington than Dallas does?
Yeah, I do. Yeah, I know. Yeah, the memes.
Yeah, I was telling Joe about that, and don't want to go into too much of a tangent, obviously, because it's not a football thing. But that boxing match we had this weekend with Netflix, it got a lot of football fans a little worried because of the buffering that was an issue during the fight, and Netflix is hosting a Christmas game this year.
Yeah.
So there was a lot of memes. I told Joe about this. He was cracking up. There was a lot of memes out there of my favorite video. I wish I'd gotten it, but my favorite video so far has been when they were showing the greatest plays in the last 2 decades in the NFL, and all of them were buffering.
NFL on Netflix. He's
Like,
going for the kick. His foot touches
he's
the ball.
going for the
buffering.
kick. They showed the Odell Beckham catch, but right before he caught it, it buffered. They showed the Manning to what's his face against the Patriots when the Patriots were 16-0 in the Super Bowl. They did the Butler interception in the Seattle game. They did all the biggest plays buffering.
Yeah.
Right as soon as it happened, they did the buffering. That was the meme, and it cracked me up so much.
Yeah,
So
Netflix was definitely
so worried.
exposed with their networking capabilities because look, man, I'm glad that I've already got Netflix because I'd have been pissed if I watched that shit. Look, the undercard fights were great, but as usual, boys and girls, my dad taught me a long time ago: do not ever bet on boxing or football. He said, football, you never know where that fucking oblong ball is going to bounce, no matter how good the teams are. And he said, and boxing is rigged, and it always has been. We saw 2 great fights, and the losers should have won. And it was pathetic. I was so mad. And then we got what I and every other boxing fan knew what we were going to get.
I was hoping
Jake Paul and Mike Tyson playing patty cake.
He just had to hit him once or twice. He just had
he hit the one good shot he got in. I guarantee you it's because Paul hit him kind of hard and he was letting him know, hey, don't hit me that hard again or I will knock you out. Trust me.
Yeah,
it was probably in the contract that they don't knock each other out and they go 8 rounds because it was just stupid. It was stupid. If anybody watched that fight, you know that was an exhibition fight. It was dumb as shit. Hats off to Jake Paul for getting his bag, but God almighty. If you got Netflix to watch this, you are pissed off today. That's for sure. Yeah, it was ridiculous.
I tell you what,
a lot of people that were having trouble with their passwords and stuff. Like they were fighting getting on Netflix.
8 rounds for a 58-year-old man.
Oh, look. I love Mike. He got one last payday. That's great. But look,
$20 million.
And I do have to give it to Jake Paul. He showed him respect after the fight.
That bow at the end.
Now, if you don't watch boxing, they clap the apron when there's 10 seconds left in the round. And when they did that, Jake stopped punching, stepped back, and bowed to him right there in the middle of the ring.
Put his hands behind his back.
Yeah, and put his hands behind his back.
I was hoping, though. It's like as soon as that happened, I would hope.
Mike was gassed after the second round. He didn't have shit left. Trust me. Yeah, it was ridiculous. Anyway, let's get back to football.
My main point was it was scary for the buffering part, especially when
it was because we're going to be watching. You're right. There's 2 games down the stretch here going to be on Netflix. They better get this shit together. You can look from what I heard. People with 4K TVs were having the hardest problems. Me on mobile, I didn't really run into much of it. You know what I mean? I was watching on a mobile when I had a chance. But yeah, people with big TVs, get some more bandwidth. Get it together there. Okay, let's get into today's games. The first one is the quote unquote oldest rivalry in football. The Green Bay Packers versus the Chicago Bears. Now is Jordan Love playing in this one, or is he still nicked up? Or I think he's playing.
To me, it doesn't matter.
I don't think it matters either. I think I'd have to roll with the Packers in this one, man, because Chicago is just looking like they're in disarray. You know, it's kind of strange.
Defense is still not bad, but
since the bye, they have not won a game. They have not won a game since the bye, and they've looked bad. They've fired their offensive coordinator. And as soon as I heard that, I was like, "Oh boy, we got another Aaron Rodgers." Is the franchise, the face of the franchise, calling the shots? Is that what's going on here? But I'm with you. I don't think it matters. That defense is really good, but until they figure out how to get back to him getting rid of the ball instead of hanging on to it too long, because that's what's going on. He's not getting rid of the ball the way he should, and he's relying on his feet too much, and he's getting smoked.
His wide receivers are so frustrated with him.
Yeah. Well, we saw the footage of Moore walking off the field the other day when the play was still going on.
I still attend he was limping on that one. So
right. Yeah. I hear you, but still, it does not look good. I don't care what the reason is. It still doesn't look good. But I have to go with the Packers. Knock, do you think? I know you say it
all
doesn't
depends on
matter at
Williams.
quarterback.
No, I think it all depends on Williams. Williams has a great game. They have a shot because the defense is good. We know the defense is good, so they can keep it close. But it's just been zero from the Bears. I mean, I can't pick them without. I know more about the Packers, and their offense is way more consistent. I still like their, they got Josh Jacobs, so they don't have to rely on the quarterback as much.
And one thing's for sure, they're going to get an extra possession every game. They are one of the best teams I've watched at getting turnovers. They get at least one pick a game. So, John, any thoughts on this one?
No. Well, I was going to say the OC probably got fired because Williams went and cried to his mom, and his mom went and talked to the general manager.
Quite possible. I hope that's not what's going on there. I really do. But if they're starting to listen to him already and trying to tailor everything to him, we saw how
the coach got Sandra Bullock.
Right.
Yeah. She went right on the field and got in his face and
exactly right.
I don't think my boy that way.
I don't think the Bears have a chance, so it's going to definitely be the Packers this time.
Yeah. Okay. Next up, we've got the Philadelphia.
Just real quick before you move on there, Joe. Just one question. Just a quick question.
Sure.
Do you think Williams gets benched this season?
Williams gets benched this season. There was a rumor going on around that some of the players were lobbying for that backup. What's his name? It's shit. God almighty. I had it on the tip of my tongue. Shoot. His dad is a big lobbyist for him too. God, one of you guys look it up. The backup.
I'm trying to
the Bears
right now.
But do I think he gets benched? No. I think we're going to see he's one of those divas, man, that's going to get his way. I really think so. I don't think Eberflus has got the nuts to fucking bench him. I don't think he does. And I don't think Eberflus is going to be the head coach of the Bears next year either. So
Tyson Badgett.
Yeah, that's it. Badgett. That's it. Yeah. Because you remember he stepped in for Fields. Was it last year or 2 years ago? He's been there a couple of years.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
I think it was last year. He stepped in for a couple of games. And he won the first one. Yeah. So, but I've heard rumors that they're lobbying for him. Some of the players in the locker room. I've heard that, but I don't think it's going to. I don't think that's going to be the case.
Gotcha.
I think they're going to let him ride it out. I mean, what would be the usefulness of that? Maybe you pull him from games and let Badgett get some playing time, but I don't think they out bench him. Next up, I said Philadelphia, which is completely wrong. The Jacksonville Jaguars, it just gets worse for them. They travel to the toughest team in the NFC. That's right. I said it. The toughest team in the NFC.
We're not in London anymore.
You're not wrong.
They should have been beaten last week. They should have been beaten. The Texans had them. Had them. And that team just muscled their way back.
They just couldn't get to 7 interceptions. They
couldn't do it.
If they just gotten one more.
Right? No, actually, it was only
6,
5 interceptions.
It was 5. Yeah,
it was 6 turnovers, but it was 5 interceptions.
They just couldn't get number 7. How dare them?
Damn it! Yeah, couldn't do it. But that's the kind of win though that teams that are on a roll that end up doing it all. This is my pick. And the Chiefs, that's another team. We'll get to their game last week, but both of these teams should have been beaten last week, and I think they're on a collision course, man. Anyway, we got the Jacksonville Jaguars going into Detroit. Watching the pregame stuff this morning, doing my research, they're already talking about Peterson's gone, changes coming in Jacksonville and all that good stuff. These teams have got to stop paying these quarterbacks all the money they're paying them, like Dak and this guy, the supermodel. I mean, if you haven't won in the postseason, why give them all that money? Because that's what it's all about, Otherwise, you're just selling jerseys and we know Jerry Jones is doing that, but I think the Khan family's trying to win. They just can't get it together.
Well, technically, he did win one game in the playoffs. They came back against
They did.
LA.
Yeah, they did.
2 years ago.
Yeah, that game against the Chargers. You're right. But Chargers are going to charge. You know what the Chargers are going to do. But anyway, anybody giving the Jaguars a chance in this one? No.
Nope.
Shaking of the head.
No, they're
I can't
stingy.
see Knox head, so he's going to have to tell us. Go ahead.
No, I think they'll be stingy, but no, especially in Detroit, they got those fans.
Yeah.
I think they need to bring back the bagheads. They need to bring back the bagheads just for irony.
Right. Everybody wear them and then pull them off when they start winning, right? That would be a funny visual, man. It really would. Okay, next up, we've got the Las Vegas Raiders at the Miami Dolphins. I think the Dolphins win today. I think they show out today. They're at home. They're healthy. Waddle may be nicked up. Is he playing, or does anybody know? I don't really know. I know he got nicked up last week, but yeah, man. I think the Dolphins pull it off today. But then again, they're playing one of the most dysfunctional teams in the NFL right there. Who's playing quarterback for them now? Is it back to being Minshew Magic?
Yeah,
back to that.
It's Minshew Magic
again.
Yeah, and he likes to play in Florida. Remember, he won all those games for the Jaguars, right? I just feel like the Dolphins are going to win today. Their defense is better than advertised, guys. They're really good on defense. If the offense can start clicking again. What's the running back position look like right now? Is it Archain or is Mostert back too?
I'm looking now.
Johnny
I just got.
I think he's been banged up. I think him and Mostert are good to go. I think.
Yeah.
Kendall Fuller is out.
I'm just wondering about Waddle.
Yeah,
I know Tyreek Hill's in. Huh?
Waddle is not on the injury list at all.
Okay. Yeah. Well, I feel like the Dolphins are going to do it. John, what do you think? This is
definitely
the Raiders are in you guys' division. You tell me about this. What's up?
Oh no, Dolphins are going to win this one.
Okay.
Yeah, we got some pretty easy picks this week.
Yeah. There's a lot of really easy picks. Yes, there are. Okay. So, next up. This is going to be a good game. I think this is going to be better than advertised. The New England Patriots, Drake May is playing better, boys and girls. Now that he's back from injury and everything, he's looking good. They pulled off a win against the Chicago Bears last week, right? Well, we already detailed the dysfunction in Chicago, but the Patriots, they got called out by their coach and they've been playing better. So we'll see what happens. On the flip side, the Rams, they took it on the chin last week against the Miami Dolphins, unexpectedly. But that team is explosive. They could blow up at any time. That's going to be a good game. I think that's going to be better than advertised. I'm going to say the Rams are going to go into New England and win, but it could go either way if you ask me. Knock, what do you think of this one?
I'm going with the Rams. I think they're getting healthier. And...
Their defense, there's a kid, I think his name's his number is 7. I'm not sure the guy's name, but he's a rookie and he's showing out for him on the defensive line. He's getting some good pass pressures and stuff, man. I mean, he's not Aaron Donald, don't get me wrong, but they've made a stride in the right direction there with that pick. They actually hit on one. John, what do you think of this one?
I'm actually going to go with the Patriots.
Yeah. That's they have. Here's the thing: the Patriots have to play flawless football to win.
Yeah,
they do. Sound, good situational football. They have to play that way. Their defense, it's not as good as it has been in past years, but situationally, they're going to do the right things. We know that. So,
well,
it's possible.
The Rams starter cornerback is out.
Okay.
So I was looking at the injury reports.
Okay. Yeah.
The Rams are actually still hurt worse than the Patriots. Patriots just have a lot of questionables, but nobody's out.
Yeah.
whereas there's players for the Rams that normally start that are out. So, or that are normally in, like they're missing a lot on their defense. Let's put it that way.
Yep. Gridiron Masters, I didn't see that. I'm sorry. You can be a profitable franchise without winning a bunch of games, right? Yeah, that's absolutely. Just look at the Dallas Cowboys. They're the richest franchise in sports.
Yep.
And they win a lot of games in the regular season, but postseason, no, not so much.
You look at the Commanders too.
Yeah.
They haven't won anything since the 90s. And
No, but they're
they just got sold for quite a few $1 billion.
Money. Yes, absolutely. Okay, so let's see what we got next. I'm sitting here messing up. Okay. Wow. The Cleveland Browns. Jameis Winston returns to the scene of the crime. Wow. Cleveland Browns going to the New Orleans Saints. He's going to be amped up for this game. You got dice cam? You ready for dice cam?
Not on this one. I've got to pick.
Not on this one. You got to pick. Okay.
I do
Well,
too,
tell us,
actually.
what do you think? I'm not making a pick yet. Let me hear it.
I'm going to Saints. I think Kamara's going to bust it out.
Yeah, okay.
I'm completely opposite. I'm going all the Browns. There's just no way I could trust the Saints at all.
Yeah. They won last week against Atlanta, an Atlanta team that's been winning, but that's one of those divisional games.
Atlanta is. Ugh.
Yeah, it's.
And I'm hoping they're up this week because, for reasons.
Right. But, I've said it for years. I'm just not a fan of the guy, Kirk Cousins. I'm just not. And, this is the thing with Cousins. If he's got a clean pocket, he will shred your ass for 500 yards. But you hit him in the mouth, guess what? You're going to win because he's going to start fucking up. He will. He is not mentally tough when it comes to football. So the Saints got after him last week and they pulled it off. Carr, you can't trust though. He had 2 great games to start the season. He had a good game the other day, but he didn't blow the doors off either. Jameis Winston's going to be chomping at the bit. Chubb's back, isn't he?
I was going to mention that.
Chubb's
you got
back.
Nick Chubb is going to remind everyone why.
And he's going to start getting, the more you give that guy the ball, the more he's going to get lathered up. Yeah, it's gonna be a test of the running backs, isn't it? It's gonna be Chubb versus Kamara, and Kamara's dude, the guy. If he was anywhere else, But here's the thing with the Saints. Look, they didn't put it away last week. Did you see the ball that Kamara dropped that would have ended that game?
Yeah.
Did you see that ball? Yeah. You know what? Now that I'm thinking about it,
yeah,
I'm taking the Browns this week. I'm calling it an upset. Whatever you want to do. Oh, it's horrible, man. It's horrible. But anyway, these two teams aren't going anywhere. We're not going to spend too much more time on those guys. Let's see what else we got this week. Oh, big one. Yep. Big one in the North. Oh, shit.
Baltimore,
really?
Pittsburgh.
The Baltimore Ravens at the Pittsburgh Steelers. And I'm telling you right now, I'm picking the fucking Steelers. I'm picking the Steelers. Because there's another quarterback that's the MVP of the league that is not mentally tough, just like I was just talking about. You beat him up a little bit,
yep.
and he will start fucking it up. But here, it's going to be decided on. You see all those numbers: number 1 in passing, number 1 in rushing, number 1 offense, 26th in defense. That's their Achilles heel. They are not playing Ravens defense these days. And we all know what the Steelers have been doing. They're running the ball, and this offense is tailor-made for Russell Wilson. He's playing well in it. I know Knock doesn't want to hear that, but it's true. He's playing well in it. I just feel good about the Pittsburgh Steelers at home. They're going to play. This is going to be an ugly football game. You throw out the records. The Steelers defense is good enough to stop their running game. I think they are. And we know TJ Watt's going to be up Lamar's ass today. So it really, I think it really depends on those first couple of drives. If they can keep these guys contained, get them, maybe a first down and out or a 3 and out, I really think that's what's going to dictate it. If they get on a roll running, then it's over. I mean, they'll blow the doors off this team, but I don't think that's going to happen. I don't think it is at all. That number 4 defense, I will trust over that top offense any day. Knock, your thoughts on this one?
Yeah, I'll go real quick, and then I got to go switch out some laundry.
Okay,
I'm going Ravens. I'll be back.
Ravens. Yep. Okay. John, what do you think?
I'm going to go Steelers. I think they're going to be able to keep Lamar Jackson in the pocket.
Yep.
And if they keep him in the pocket, TJ Watt's going to eat. He's just going to knock him on his butt, and he starts knocking him on his butt. He's going to be trying to get out. And he's going to try and do everything he can to get away from TJ Watt.
Yeah.
Yep. Mm-hmm. And he'll lose it. And it's like, I've always maintained that he's overhyped. He's a running back who can throw the ball.
Yeah. Well, I got to say, he's another one that with a clean pocket can shred you. He's talented, but he doesn't have all the throws. Look, he throws lasers.
Yeah. He doesn't throw rainbows.
The deep ball that Russell Wilson throws, not many quarterbacks in the NFL have it today. Not many of them do. And he doesn't have that throw in his arsenal, No,
Russell Wilson can drop it in a bucket on you. That's for sure.
That's the thing. Yeah. So Knock's got the Ravens, and you got to know Knock loves great offense, and I am a big fan of Derrick Henry. Don't get me wrong. If he goes off today, I'll love it. Because I love watching a big guy just mow through people. I think that's awesome, but I just don't think it's going to happen against the Pittsburgh Steelers because they've got the number 4 defense for a reason. They hit you in the mouth, man. Yeah. They make you pay when you touch the football. So, we'll see what happens. It's starting to rain here, and I'm hearing a bunch of rain. But yeah, it's good. This is probably it's one of the best games on the docket today. I think. I hope I get to see this one. It's in the noon window. Also in the noon window, we've got the Minnesota Vikings at the Tennessee Titans. Oh my God. Yeah, if the Vikings don't win this game, then they just pack it in. Don't worry about it. Don't even play a playoff game. Don't even think about it. They've been one of the better teams this year, but I think it's been more game management by Sam Darnold than anything else.
Yeah, he's not throwing like bombs downfield No. He's hitting those short yardage chunks and
Knock Texas from the laundry room and says
Vikings.
It's the Vikings. Yeah, I'd have to say the Vikings too. And Knock, if he was here, he would make a case for the Titans because they do have a good defense.
Yeah,
they've got the number 1 defense in the NFL. I think he's a closet case Titans fan. But yeah, I think Minnesota's going to bounce back this week. Didn't they lose last week? I can't remember. But they've had a couple of losses they shouldn't have had. And yeah, they've got to keep up with Detroit. So they're going to keep rolling. I think that's the case this week. Next up, we've got, oh my God, somebody's got to win this game. Anthony Richardson back at the helm. I heard this morning on my research, I always watch NFL Network before, as I have my morning coffee, my morning Joe, as there were. And they were saying that, the benching of Richardson wasn't just because of, tapping out in that one play, when quarterbacks should never tap out, they said that really he's become more focused in film study and the things you need to do about the details, getting game prep. He's paying more attention to it now. Apparently, this is a jolt he needed to get him more focused on learning the game instead of just showing up and slinging a rock, right? And that's what one of the insiders on the panel is hearing out of their camp. So with Joe Flacco on the sideline, if he's paying more attention to the details and stuff, he might play better. The Jets defense is not what it used to be. It's gone downhill since they fired their head coach. It's ridiculous how bad it's gotten.
Yep.
And the offense, look, there's a reason why teams, you see guys go to other teams. The Peyton Mannings of the world are rare to go to another team and win a Super Bowl. And if you remember, the year he won the Super Bowl, he played like shit. It was their defense that won the Super Bowl for him. He just got enough of those quackers out there to fucking get it done. He looked horrible his last year. And I think we're seeing the sharp decline of Aaron Rodgers. I doubt we're going to see him in a green uniform next year.
Listen, Peyton Manning played to win the game, okay? How dare you?
What was the final score of that Super Bowl again?
24-10. It was a winning score. That's what it was.
I knew you were going to say something, but you know what I'm saying. When the decline comes in a quarterback, it comes fast and it avalanches on him. It really does.
Well, I think in this particular case, it's not his arm. It's not Rodgers' arm.
It's his feet.
That's what it was for Manning. For Manning, it was his arm. His
feet with Rodgers.
His mind is brilliant as ever was.
And look, he counts on his feet. He's always counted on his feet. You watch those Packers games when he was on and firing, he was always running out of the pocket. Always. It was his ability to escape the pocket that got him a lot of those big downfield throws. And he just doesn't have that anymore, and he thinks he does. And that's the shame of it. He's got to play more in the pocket, and they're not protecting him very well. It's bad football in Jetville. But I say all this, I still trust him more than I do Richardson. That's for sure. Depends on how Taylor plays. The better running back is definitely on the Colts side. I don't know.
I mean, Breece Hall does not surrender much, though.
Yeah. But I don't know. There's just something about the Jets. They've got a funk on them, man. I don't know. I'm taking the Jets in this game simply because they're at home. But I'd love to see the Colts beat the shit out of them. I'd love to see Richardson throw a bunch of those 70-yard bombs he likes to throw. That would be awesome.
Yeah,
maybe
that's the film he needed
right now, man.
Maybe that's the film he needed to watch. Hey, remember when I threw those 70-yard bombs? Let's do that again.
Yeah, let's do that some more, right? Especially against this defense that is playing like shit since their head coach, the guy that built that defense, has left.
Just not on the same side as Sauce Gardner. Don't test that.
Right?
Guy.
Just don't throw it that way. Yeah. John, what do you think of this one?
I'm going to go with the Jets, but that's only because I think the ghost of Mr. What's his name? I was going to make the joke about what's his name being buried under the end zone, but I forgot his name.
Yes. The Teamsters head.
Yeah.
God, see, it's hell getting old. The girls,
yep.
We lose.
Yeah, I don't even know what you're talking about. So
that's because it. God, why does Hugh Hefner keep popping in my head? That's not it. God, man. Okay.
Hugh Grant.
No. Actually, there's the best movie made about that, by the way, is the one with Sylvester Stallone called Fist. It actually doesn't have the guy's name and everything, but it's definitely the story of
Jimmy Hoffa.
Jimmy Hoffa, that's it. Jimmy Hoffa.
I just remembered that as I was typing it in.
Oh, there you go. Yeah. Sometimes it takes a second for it to come to us old fucks. But anyway, Jimmy Hoffa was the head of the Teamsters. Back in like the fucking 30s and 40s and 50s. And he disappeared. And I really think that the best movie about it is Fist with Sylvester Stallone. It's a fictional movie, but it's basically the story of Jimmy Hoffa and why they killed him and everything. So he was one of the most powerful men in the world at one point. Look him up, Jimmy Hoffa. He's rumored to be buried in one of the end zones at that stadium where they play.
Yeah.
So at the
So
Meadowlands. But anyway,
Jimmy Hoffa is going to influence this game, and the Jets are going to win.
Jets are going to win. Okay, all right. What do you think, Knock? Who are you giving it to?
Yeah, I'm kind of in the same boat as you are. I'm going with the Jets, but I'm hoping for the Colts.
Yeah, me too. Absolutely. I can't stand the Jets. I really can't. I hate this team.
The biggest reason is because of our slight lead in that 7th seed.
Yeah, there you go.
The Colts lose.
Yeah.
So
gotcha.
I want everyone to beat each other below us, so that we can.
Yeah. Well, speaking of your beloved Broncos, let's check out their matchup with the Atlanta Falcons this week
in Denver.
Yeah. How's your pass rush, baby? Can you hit him?
Oh yeah.
Can you hit him?
Get him. We can
hit him. I tell you what, I love this guy. What's his name? I think you told me his name's Zach Allen.
Yeah, Zach Allen. Yep, he's our Allen.
Tackle. Oh my God, that guy is mammoth. He is huge. He is a dude you can build a defense around, man. That guy, I was so hoping he'd get that pick. It was right in his hands last week, wasn't it? Oh.
No, that's why he's not a wide receiver.
Exactly, right? But boy.
He's got defensive line. He's got defensive hands. That's what he's got. He's got mittens.
He's got frying pan hands. Boom, boom. Yeah, that's it. But yeah, I'm pulling for you guys this week. I can't stand the Falcons, bro. Well, of course you are. They're your team. Tell me all about it. How are you going to win this game?
I don't know. I'm so bummed.
It's his offense that's driving him nuts. That's what it is.
Yeah, I mean, there's sparks. There's something there. I mean, they got it done at the end of last week. They did. They did their job last week, and unfortunately, the special teams failed them. So they did exactly what they needed to do. They ran out the clock. It was a perfect 4-minute offense.
It was
absolutely. There was literally nothing else they could have done better.
John
except
can't
for score a
deny
touchdown.
He got away with one last week, and he knows it.
Yeah, I've never, we're gonna win until the ball is kicked and it's over the line. But in good news, we're still 7th seed, so we really need this win. I think we can get off to the quarterback. They're obviously just going to ignore Pitts for all the games, so that's good for us. Can we cover Drake London with our guy we just paid, Surtain? And if we can get him
London's
off,
hurt.
Is he?
London's
that's
hurt.
Even better.
Yay!
He's not out, but he was questionable.
Cool.
So if we can, and then offense has shown strides. There's not as nearly as many 3-and-outs as there were earlier in the season. So they're getting there. You can see their offense is middle of the road. That's way better than we thought.
One thing I do like about your young quarterback, he's not giving the ball away.
And our run game is starting to get going too. Our run game is actually starting to get there. So they actually got our 3rd-string guy, Estime. They started giving him more reps. And that seems to have gotten Javonte Williams a little bit up and a little bit more motivation there too. So I think our run game is, everything goes off the run game. And Nix is starting to finally get some targets, starting to get Sutton into play here. So that's what we need. I'm still at
that
this
guy
point
needs to step his game up.
He does. And
tired of watching him drop balls in crucial moments.
It's times like this where I wish that we still had Tim Patrick, who is having a ball of a time with the Lions.
Yes.
That was my biggest. But we have this young guy, Vele, that's been showing up. He showed up in the Kansas game, too. So
he did.
Young rookie, Vele. So I think some of our young guys are going to be the ones that actually do step up. We've started using our tight ends more, which they can catch the ball. They can be safety valves. He's got to trust them. So he started to trust the tight ends more.
If he added that to his game, imagine what that offense would start doing. Because
I think they're starting to. And that's the thing. I think they're starting to. And it's a new system for a rookie. And now we're getting into the deep side of the season where they need to either gel or they're not going to. And I think they've started to. I think they started to in that Ravens game. The game just got away from them, unfortunately. And then in the Chiefs game, they did exactly what they needed to do in the Chiefs game. They didn't turn it over. I think was there even a turnover on our side?
I don't think there was.
I think was there a fumble? There may have been a fumble, but
there was. The running back got punched out on him.
But other than that, they did everything they needed to do to win that game. The defense did, and the offense did. The special teams did not. So it was if we had won that field goal game, it would have been all 3 phases we won that game.
It's
But
such a
the one that
weird
mattered-
game because, if I'm Sean Payton, I'm telling them, guys, that's just a freak thing. Of course, I'm riding my friggin' special teams coach because apparently this is something that's been happening. Apparently the left side of that line is getting crushed on special teams plays. I noticed I was watching something where they were detailing that's been happening a lot. So I think if I'm Sean Payton, I'm saying, look, we did everything right. It's a fluke we lost this game. Remember all
we
the
went
shit
toe
we
to
did
toe
right
with the number 1 team in the
the fucking
NFL in their
undefeated
town.
two-time world champions, man. How can you not think that you can go out and
We were
win
in
every game?
Kansas City. We were being watched by Taylor Swift. I mean, they had everything against us.
Come on. Everything was stacked against us, and we were kicking the winning field goal in their house. Damn it. What the hell?
I couldn't talk about that game for most of the week. I couldn't do it.
Well, see, that's because here's the thing. I've noticed this about Cowboys fans, Broncos fans, all this. These guys that have won plethora of Super Bowls, they expect to win every year. And
whoa there.
Those of us
really like in my fandom time. There's only been one.
Seahawks fans. We were used to 40 years of losing before we even sniffed a Super Bowl. So,
50 years for us.
Yeah, 50 years for you guys between them. But, we understand when we lose,
Listen, I may have joined when I joined the bandwagon when Elway won. That's when I started watching football.
Yes.
And then he retired. Okay. Yeah. So I had to watch every single year where we would get to the wild card.
It was horrible.
And lose
Between
to the Colts.
Elway and yeah.
We had one good year with Jake Plummer where we lost to the Steelers in the championship game. Mm-hmm. And then we didn't do anything until Tebow got there. And then it was awful. It was awful to watch Tebow, except for those last 5 minutes, the Tebow time. Yeah, and then they beat the Steelers in the playoffs with Tebow, and then they got Manning, and then it got better. So there was a lot of downs.
And you've had some downtime since Manning.
5 years with not even sniffing the playoffs.
Right, but
now it's like 8 years.
I got to say this about your team, though. Bo Nix is applying himself, and he's getting better every week. And he's you guys did good with that pick. You really did. If Jaden Daniels' slide continues, and you guys keep on the upswing, there could be an argument down the stretch that he's the rookie of the year. But right now, I still give the edge to Daniels. But if he continues to slide, he's on. What is that? 2 or 3 in a row Washington's lost? I think
2 because they have the Steelers and the Ravens.
But I think I'm going with the Broncos in this game because they're at home. Atlanta's got to be questioning themselves, and I don't believe in Kirk Cousins. If you can get to Kirk Cousins and knock him on his ass like you say you can, then they lose the game. He will lose the game. He will give it to you. No problem. Just beat him up, and that's the key to beating that team right there. They can't commit to giving it to Robinson, that's for sure. So, yeah. All right, what do you think about this one, John? Broncos are in your division. You played them last week. You were lucky to get away with that win.
We snatched victory from the jaws of defeat. We should have lost that game. Mm-hmm. If it wasn't for that our special teams were better. We had 4 guys come through that line. 4 guys.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That ball,
that left side collapsed.
Yeah. We just that block was. So everybody was stunned on our side. We're like,
yeah, whoa.
We thought the game was over. It's like I thought the game was over, but I was like, I can never give up until the whistle ends.
Yep.
So I don't say anything. I keep it like I'm thinking, oh, this is probably it.
Yeah.
And then boom.
Yeah, you never know. They could miss it. There's several.
Yeah, I was hoping.
I hate leaving it in the hands of the special teams. I really do.
Yeah,
but anyway, this game.
Yeah, this game.
Who you like in this?
I think the Broncos are starting to. Bo Nix is looking good. Mm-hmm. They beat us last week.
Yeah,
I'll say that they beat us, and I think their defense is a lot better than it was at the beginning of the year, and I think I think they're going to beat the Falcons this time.
Yep. Yeah, I just don't believe in the Falcons. I mean, the numbers, you look at it on paper, the Falcons should win every week, but they got 4 losses somehow.
Yeah.
And they're not, some of them are, look, the Saints beat them last week. The Saints. And they suck. That was their first win in 7 weeks. 7 weeks.
Yeah.
Come on, man. Nah, I can't believe in the Falcons. I really can't. But anyway, okay. So we're all on the Broncos. All right. That works. I like it. Okay. Very cool. Let's see what's next up. But this is going to be next to the Pittsburgh Ravens game. This is the one I'd want to watch the most so far. Let's see what else we've got. Well, I don't even want to talk about this game. This used to be fucking must-see TV, but yeah, Niners are going to win this. You guys talk about it. I don't even want to. Go ahead.
Christian McCaffrey's back. That's all you got to say for the 49ers. So,
yep.
Bosa got fined. He doesn't care.
Back again.
I don't believe in the Niners, though. I can tell you that. They're going to beat us today. You know, we're on the road in Santa Clara, but that I would not be surprised if the Arizona Cardinals win our division this year. I would not be surprised at all.
Yeah, it's going to be between the 49ers and Cardinals, and I think
it is.
I do think the Cardinals have a slight edge because there's just too many injuries on the 49ers. There's just
wow, we're not even talking about the Rams, man. That's
no.
Nope.
They had a chance, but they had to get on a roll, and they blew it last week. So yeah, I'm not getting.
And they're only a game behind. I mean,
I know they're only a game behind, but believe me, the way the dominoes are going to fall out. Yeah, I just
in that division, everything that division's so tight as it is.
Mm-hmm.
One game is huge.
Yep, absolutely. Knock 49ers. What do you think?
Yeah, I'm going 49ers.
Yeah, I figured as much. You got yard work going on, huh, man?
Yep, right outside the door.
That's cool, man. Friggin', I just hang my head about the Seahawks right now because the defense, you know, we hang our hat on defense, and you see that number 4 passing, but there's turnovers go with that passing too. We're throwing it too much. Can't count on our running backs to be on the field every down.
And playing from behind.
Playing from behind every fucking week. Yeah, it's not pretty. I'd love, you know, I'm pulling for my Seahawks. I want to see them beat the 49ers. I hate the 49ers. Can't stand this fucking football team. I hope that Shanahan does his best Shanahan play calling at the end of the game so we can actually win it. But, you know, I got a feeling it's going to be a blowout by that point. So, yeah, I'm not putting much faith in my Seahawks this week. This used to be must-see TV, though. When we were going to the Super Bowl and the Niners were going to the Super Bowl, yeah, this was it. This was the game, but not so much anymore. Big game right here.
This is must-see TV.
The King is going up against what Rich Eisen calls the Mandalorian quarterback.
And this is on Netflix, right?
No.
No? Oh, okay.
No.
It's a shame.
He wanted to see it buffered all over. Oh, man.
No, that's the Chiefs Christmas Day game that's on.
Yeah, right. There is a Chiefs game on Netflix. That's
Chiefs Texans, isn't it? I think.
Chiefs Raiders.
Chiefs Raiders. Okay. The Texans are one of the games, too, I think. But anyway, today's game in Orchard Park.
Yeah.
The 8-2 Buffalo Bills. I cannot.
No, it's Chiefs in Pittsburgh.
Is it Pittsburgh?
It's Baltimore and Houston.
Baltimore and Houston. Okay.
Those are the 2 Christmas Day games.
Gotcha.
On Netflix.
All right.
So we must play the Raiders the next week.
Look, the Chiefs are going into Kansas City, and I really want to see them get to 10-0. I think I really can't be objective about this game. You guys know I can't stand the Buffalo Bills. It's an old Patriots thing. I can't stand this team. I can't be objective. Yes, Josh Allen is playing good football. I choke on those words. But you know, it's a regular season game. So if the Chiefs are going to dump one, it's probably going to be this one. But I don't know. I just don't trust Josh Allen. I'm taking the Chiefs in this one. Knock. Talk about this matchup. I know you love Josh Allen. Probably wish he was playing for another
Well,
franchise.
first off, John, you're completely wrong. They don't play the Raiders at all in December or January.
I thought
their
they
last
did. I
game.
thought they did.
No, they've already played them once, and then they play them the November 29th.
Okay. All right. So that means Denver's.
Learn your schedule, bro. Anyways,
Learn your schedule.
God.
I'm old. Okay. I need to look at stuff.
Today's game.
Well, I gotta
go.
tell you, yeah, I'm sticking with the Bills. I think the Chiefs' offense has been kind of iffy lately. They did only score how many points in that game against Denver? And Denver's defense has been decent. I think they were actually better on earlier in the year than they have been now. But still good, but not as good. And I don't know. You could say that all you want. You could say that all you want. Josh Allen transcends the stats, as does Mahomes. So I feel like the Bills have an opportunistic defense. They might not. They bend and don't break. You can do it all you want. I know that you're doing that because you are not a fan of the Bills.
I'm not, man.
So you will look at every single thing that points away from them. So I know this.
Look, two things
you
you
didn't
can
circle that
bank
number
on.
10
Two
either.
things you can bank on, bro. If the game's close down the stretch, Josh Allen is going to throw it to the other team, and Mike Shanahan is going to blow the play calling. That's two things you can bank on in a close game.
I will say that if this was in Kansas City, my pick would be flipped.
Right. Yeah. You kind of got to go with the home team in this one. It's a rivalry, no doubt. It's probably
Bills
the
have
biggest
something to prove
outside the conference rivalry, or it should be outside the division rivalry in the AFC. It's probably the biggest one. The only one I think would come close is probably the Bengals and the Chiefs, just because, Joe Burrow's beaten them so many times that, that they're tired of seeing him. But this is the game. This is the game that Buffalo has to win, right?
Just to have a shot at that number one seed. There's only
To
one
have a
bye week
shot
now.
at the number one seed. They're within striking distance, right? They have to have this game. And they until they win this game in the postseason, they're not ever going to get there. So they need to start doing it. John, talk about your football team. It's good to be the king, isn't it?
Yeah, this is what I've said is going to be our toughest game of the year. I've always said this is the.
I think you played your toughest game of the year last week, but that's just me. So, go ahead.
Still got to play him in Denver, though.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, well, we'll see. But
go.
We do have some bright spots. We get some players back this week.
We already know Taylor Swift is there. We already know the refs are there and they're red. So.
Wait. Is Taylor Swift traveling to Buffalo? What?
I have no idea. I don't know.
I don't know. I don't know if Taylor Swift's there or not, but I know that Andy Reid's has definitely been on them this week about what mistakes they made. And if there's one thing you can count on, that Andy Reid is always the best at making adjustments.
Yeah. For sure.
And I think when it's all said and done and he's retired, he's going to be considered one of the best coaches to ever.
Oh, he's going up on the Mount Rushmore. Yeah,
yep.
No doubt.
But, how much fake limping are we going to see today from Mahomes? Curious. How much heroics are we going to see?
Let me tell you, man. Yeah.
Apparently he's got ankles of
Let me tell you something. Mahomes, I don't think he gets the hate that Brady got when he was winning Super Bowls every year, because the guy at least is a little bit humble. He doesn't sit there. He's not arrogant,
No.
But this whole ankle thing is cracking me up. It really is. I mean, oh my God. Whenever he needs to, the thing I love about Patrick Mahomes, the only time he runs is when nobody's in front of him. The Red Sea parts, he'll go ahead and take it. He'll take it from you. He's not dumb,
Yeah.
But, there's something been a little off with that offense all year long.
Yeah.
And, I think I think part of it is the fact that you had to call a running back up off the fucking couch. I think that has a lot to do with it.
Yeah, but the
Kareem
running
Hunt's
back we
been
called
playing
up.
well.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong. He's playing well, but he's not what you guys were gearing up for all year long.
No.
In the off season. So,
that was the angry runner Pacheco, but
right.
We don't get him back this week. We get him back next week.
Okay. Well, that whole offense is going to change when that shit happens. That's for fucking sure.
Oh yeah, it goes into high gear.
And we can
that could be the thing.
To ignore Fleisler.
That could be the thing that puts the Bills over the top. That right there. I don't know.
We get Smith-Schuster back this week.
Yeah.
So Juju's back this week. That gives Mahomes another target. So, yeah, besides D-Hop and Kelsey.
Mm-hmm. Worthy out?
No, Worthy's still there.
Okay.
Nobody's out from the offense except for Pacheco, for starters anyway.
Gotcha.
And your kicker.
Yeah, I was going to say, and I was getting to that. That's one dark spot is we don't have Harrison Butker. Because he's out for 4 weeks on IR because he had to have his meniscus trimmed this week.
Ugh.
On his left leg. Which, is his plant leg.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So, but we brought that kid from, and Jets are pissed. We stole their kicker that they were about to bring up. They were about to call him up, and we signed him.
Signed him up for practice squad? Oh, no.
They offered him, say, hey, we're going to bring you up. We're going to pay you this much. We're going to pay you more than the Chiefs. And there's like, no, I'll go kick for 4 weeks for the Chiefs.
Yeah, I'll go get a Super Bowl ring. Thanks a lot. Appreciate you.
Yeah, because you know what's going to happen. He's going to kick for 4 weeks, and instead of getting rid of him, we're going to put him on our practice squad.
Right.
And let him get a practice squad ring, So, but I don't know how good he is. I think he's kind of extra points. He's flawless. He's not Butker that can hit 60-yard field goals without breaking a sweat.
Right.
So I don't know. That's our weak spot. Like I said,
after hearing all that, I'm taking the Bills this week, even though I can't stand them. But it's regular season. They've beaten you in the regular season before.
Yeah.
So
if we're going to lose a game this year, it's going to be this one.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. Yep, absolutely.
But I'm still taking Chiefs because I can't not take the Chiefs.
You can't not take them. They're undefeated. Yeah, I hear you. With the kicker being out, though, I'm going to go ahead and take Buffalo this week. Okay. So enough about that one. That's going to be a good game, too. How many good games we got? We got that Ravens-Pittsburgh one. The Denver-Atlanta one, I think, is going to be better than people think. The Buffalo Chiefs one.
And that is the only game. That's the national game. That's the only national game at 3.
Yeah, that's the only. Well, I mean,
for the CBS,
right,
CBS
absolutely for CBS. The Fox has a couple of them between Seahawks and Denver and Falcons. Then we got this at 7:20 tonight.
Go Bengals!
Central Time. Bengals versus the Chargers. Yeah, I haven't seen the Chargers play this year. I haven't seen them this year yet.
Solid defense. Offense is okay.
Offense is inconsistent.
Yeah, that's definitely the best way to describe it.
Is it because? Oh, go ahead, John.
I'll say Herbert actually. I think Herbert's starting to get back in form right now. So,
well, I would have to assume that his struggles are 50% getting nicked up early in the season and 50% no Keenan Allen. I would imagine
that hurt them a lot
too.
Yeah. Their main guy is Lad Conkley.
Who? Yeah, right.
He's a good receiver, right? But he's not a number one receiver.
No,
he's their number one receiver. But at this point, over Quentin Johnson,
he's a 2 or 3 normally.
Yeah,
but he's a support guy, and he's doing a really good job himself. He's coming from Georgia, that Georgia offense. Same with Brock Bowers. So I mean, he's a reliable target, but that's not the offense, right? The offense is supposed to run the ball. It's it's the
Right.
Harbaugh,
Mhm.
and you could see 23rd in rushing. That means they're not doing what they're supposed to do. So
Right.
they don't have the run game. They don't have the wide receivers. So yeah, that leads to inconsistency on the offense, where the defense has to carry them for the most part, and they have been. They're pretty decent. You got the younger Bosa, and they got some good safeties there, so they have a good defense. So fortunately for the Bengals, their defense sucks.
Yeah, that's for sure. By the way, there's a certain person that just
All
showed
right,
up.
he wins today.
Yes, he does.
There are some who call me Tim.
Good Sunday morning to you, Tim. Are you back in the States? Are you still over in Great Britain, man? What's
He's
up?
in London.
No, he said he was
still
in London earlier.
Okay, cool. All right. Good to see you, brother. I just feel like Joe Burrow's going to be pissed off about last week and light this fucking team up, but that's just me.
Well, he's been pissed off every week. He can't affect the outcome. He can't.
He can't.
It's his defense.
It is his defense.
This is literally what's his name? Caleb Williams at USC level.
Yeah.
Where they could score all the points they want, but their defense can't stop Tulane, and they lose. So like
it's horrible.
What did he get? He had like two. What did Jamar Chase have last week? I think like 250 yards receiving. Like
yeah,
and they lost.
It's crazy. And
you can't do anything else.
They had that game.
And Higgins is back, I think.
I can't remember the guy's name, but he caught that ball on the sideline and took it 70 yards. Stiff-armed one dude into the ground, kept his feet in bounds. Another guy bounced off of him. What is that kid's name? He caught a little fucking curl route on the outside and just totally punked their defense.
I think it's Williams, I think.
They had that game. They were winning by 2 touchdowns. And then all of a sudden, the floodgates opened. I was like, what in the fuck is going on here? I mean, their defense is so bad, man. It really is. But I think I'll put my money on Joe Burrow outscoring that inept offense for the friggin' Chargers all day long.
Yeah,
so
same here.
Yeah, I'm taking the Bengals in this one. John, what do you think?
I hate to take the Bengals, but I'm taking the Bengals.
Yeah.
Because I think Joe Burrow needs to lose. They need to lose at least one more game, so they're out of contention. We don't have to worry about it.
Well, I mean,
the king is undefeated, and he still wants the Bengals out.
Even if they lose this game, they're not out of contention because, this is for after we're done talking.
Yeah.
We can talk about it now. Look at the friggin' top end of the AFC versus the bottom end of it. It's ridiculous, man. It's ridiculous. You got a bunch of teams that are all clogged up. And none of these guys are out of playoff contention. There's a lot of football left to be played.
No, that's 7th slot, man.
Yeah.
we're clinging on to it for dear life.
Right.
Yeah, I think you're going to hold on to it.
Yeah.
In fact, I think you and Chargers are going to swap today.
We'll see what happens.
No, we can't because we have too many losses, but.
No, that's true. Yeah. Because they'll be 6-4 and you'll be 6-5.
But getting back to this game, he wants to see the Bengals out of it for sure because that's the kryptonite. That guy can score with Patrick Mahomes and that great offense. I said this a couple of weeks ago, and my brother actually the next week he said, "Man, I think you were on point when you said that." I really believe Joe Burrow is this generation's Dan Marino. He's going to smash records. He's going to do all of this stuff and never sniff another Super Bowl. Because he won't leave. He's from Ohio. I don't think he'll ever leave this team. I don't think he ever will.
If the Browns can get out of their contract with Deshaun Watson, and they may offer him
way down the road now.
Yeah. Joe might go play for the Browns.
He might play for the Browns. Yeah. Yeah, I actually think the Browns are a little closer to where he's from. But anyway, I just, it's a shame to watch because this guy is a joy to watch. He really is. I enjoy the hell out of watching Joe Burrow. I really do. It's criminal what happened to him last week on that 2-point conversion. but we talked all about that last week. Yeah, Bengals all the way in that one, boys and girls. And then what do we have on Monday night this week, guys?
Nothing
Anything
much we need to
good?
discuss. No, it's not at
Oh
all.
my God, a beat up Texans team.
It's okay,
playing the
guys.
Dallas Cowboys.
It's at night, so you don't have to worry about the sun.
Don't have to worry about the sun. You don't have that excuse this time, Cowboys wide receivers. Oy vey. Texans. I'm taking the Texans all day long.
I'm taking Texans. There's nothing else that needs to be discussed here.
They're playing. Cowboys are playing at home, which means I'm taking the Texans.
Yeah.
That's a fact. They're friggin'.
There's going to be so many Texans fans there that it's going to be a Texans.
Yeah,
game.
you know what? Yeah. It may be a Texans a home game. It sure as hell might be. Man.
When you're winless at home,
let me tell you something. I've been at the stadium during a big game. Last year, I went and saw the Seahawks play there. Okay, and they went toe to toe with those guys. It was a stupid play call that fucking cost them the game. But anyway, and that last year they were undefeated at home. They never lost it. But that crowd, they're at a picnic. They have to be told when to get loud. They don't know what the fuck. They're at the country club, man. These people do not know how to root for the football team at all. They really don't. The widescreen has to tell them to get loud on third down. I mean, it's you know, most places you go to Arrowhead or Seattle, those guys can't hear themselves in the huddle. They don't want them hearing shit. I went and saw a Thanksgiving Day game back at years ago. When I think it was Anthony Wright was the quarterback of the Cowboys. They were doing that option experiment, I think, whatever the hell it was. It was near the turn of the century. Jason Taylor was playing for the Dolphins, and they were playing the Dolphins at fucking on Thanksgiving. And they were getting beat so bad by the fucking Dolphins that everybody left the stadium by halftime that had a Cowboys outfit on, right? That place was still 1/3 full of Miami Dolphins fans. And I think what you guys were talking about just a second ago, I don't know who said it, it could be a home game for the Texans. Yeah, it could absolutely be a home game for the Texans. I would not be surprised if they ended up saying something after the game like Geno Smith said a couple of weeks ago when they lost at home up there in Seattle. They felt like they were at an away game because it was loud with the fans of the other team, you know. So I could definitely see that happen for the Texans in this one, and I'm picking the Texans for sure. They may be beat up, but on their worst day, they're playing better than the Cowboys are. That's no doubt. Now, this is what Micah Parsons' second game back, so he's knocking the rust off. He could definitely give them headaches. This team's beat up, but I still think they got enough to beat the Cowboys because, well, I mean,
Nico's back.
Huh?
Nico.
Yep.
Oh no, Nico Collins is back.
Yeah.
Oh, Jesus, they might win this, but they might put a 50 burger on these bitches. Fuck. Because look, that offense, you guys got to admit, has not been the same since he went out. I mean, even though they've got other tools, it has not been. They definitely haven't been getting the deep ball. That's for sure. This guy, he is great at getting open deep. And he catches
I was
it.
hoping for a little more from Tank Dell, but yeah, it apparently just can't do it alone.
Yeah. Yeah, that'll open this fucking offense up. Yeah, definitely. Woo, Nico Collins comes up. Yeah. That's I was impressed with him early in the season before he got hurt. He was awesome.
Yeah.
And they had gone to get Diggs, you know, and I'm like, why? This guy's fucking killing it. You know what I mean? But anyway, yeah, Texans all day long. Okay, we need to look at next week's Thursday night game, which let's see if it's going to be a stinker or a good one. Stinker. Damn it. Really? You're kidding me. Steelers at the Browns. Of course, I mean, this could be a different kind of game depending on what happens today. You know, certain people get hurt. You never know, but just looking at it, I'd give it to the Steelers on this one. I want to see how he's had one good game and one bad game. We're talking about the guy for Cleveland. Help me out, guys. What's his name?
Winston.
Yeah, Jameis Winston. He played good in his first game out and then played badly last week. We'll have to see how he does today in that game they've got today. But I'd have to say the Steelers. You guys got any thoughts about this one before we get out of here?
No, Steelers.
No, I do want to show the standings before we leave.
Yeah, absolutely. Go. Let's do it. We're getting close to the time. We're past the halfway point. Well past it. Yeah.
Well,
How's it
I
looking?
only started looking at these this last week because I saw that Denver was in the 7th slot.
Yeah.
And I was like, holy crap! I forgot all about the rankings. I just have not been paying attention. I've been paying attention to college rankings more than anything.
Right.
But yeah, you got the Chiefs at the top. The Bills, they're going to try to get a win. But I mean, who the Chiefs going to lose to? They do got the Steelers later on this year. So Bills, they need to win.
And they got you guys again,
Steelers,
and you could have beat them. Yeah.
And then of course Texans, they're still trying to stay ahead. They're 2 games ahead of the Colts.
Their division's so bad that they should win it. Yeah.
Yeah. Ravens, they had 3 losses, so they're still trying to stay with it. They're kind of falling behind, but and then you got the Chargers and the Broncos, and really, I mean, Dolphins can start coming back, and the Bengals can start coming back, but I mean, anybody else here.
The rest of them, just can't see it happening.
So that 7th spot is going to be the one that everyone. I mean, you look at this. I mean, unless the Chargers.
I think both the 6th and 7th spots are
I guess
in
so.
jeopardy.
They just keep winning, but whatever.
I think the Baltimore Ravens and the Pittsburgh Steelers are going to be there. They're just going to, if anything, they'll flip spots, but they're going to be there. Do the Bengals join them from the north or the Dolphins?
I feel like at this point, they're a wild card.
Yeah. If you understand what I'm saying, as a wild card, I didn't mean winning the division. No, nothing like that. Either Baltimore or Pittsburgh's going to win that division. But, I could definitely see, I don't know, Miami, they could go on a run. The Bengals, I just don't trust because of their defense. My God, they play anybody halfway decent, they're going to get outscored. I mean, yikes. But anyway, okay, that's the AFC. How about the NFC? There's my team right there on the top. And the Eagles are pushing them. The Eagles are pushing.
The Eagles are right there.
Eagles
are right there. And
they are.
The Vikings are right there as well. I mean, you got 7. I mean, they're only a game behind. The Lions, they still got one more game to play.
Yep.
So I don't know if they'll win, but they have a chance.
Those wild card teams have to keep winning because San Francisco is coming. No doubt about that. The Rams,
the Rams, Tampa Bay. You got the Rams.
Tampa's so beat up. I mean, Baker's. I love him, and I haven't said his name all day, but Baker is playing out of his gourd, dude. He's leading the fucking league in touchdowns. Okay, so he's playing out of his fucking mind. But they have definitely got problems there in Tampa.
So you think the NFC North can maintain this 3 teams in here?
I don't think that's going to happen. I think that, and I don't know which one of them, but one of them is going to fall off. Either Green Bay or Minnesota is going to fall off. I think the Commanders, just because of their strength of schedule being so weak, they are going to stay in there, maybe move up a slot in the wild card standings. But
Cowboys, Titans, Saints, Eagles, Falcons, Cowboys.
They've got the Eagles and the Falcons down the stretch. That's it. Everybody else they should beat handily. They should, if they're handling their business worth a damn.
Yeah, they're geared to make a run. That's for sure.
Yes, they are.
7th spot.
That's why I'm saying I think it's going to be Minnesota or Green Bay down the stretch that falls off.
So anybody in here? Okay, so let's take a look at this, and just real quick, the last question I have.
San Francisco's getting up in there. They are.
Of these teams, you think out of the ones that are looking in, you think 49ers have the best chance right now?
Yes.
Out of these,
because McCaffrey's back. If he wasn't back, I'd say the Rams, but no.
Bears are on a downslide.
Yep. They fired
no hope for the Bucs or the Rams.
No,
not this year.
No.
Okay. All right.
No, I said the Rams if McCaffrey wasn't there. Now, if he gets, which is possible, he is injury prone. He could get nicked up again. Okay. And if that's the case, then the Rams will make a run. But yeah, I think Arizona's going to win the division. And it's either going to be the 49ers jumping up in there or the Rams, I think.
All right.
I put my money on San Francisco getting up in there. And one of those slots between Minnesota and Green Bay. That's who I think. I think the Seahawks, Broncos, and Chiefs will lose today. Well, you know what? I agree with you on the Seahawks. I don't agree with you on the Broncos. And I could agree with you on the Chiefs. They're going to Buffalo, who has beat them in the regular season. Like John said, if his team's going to lose one, it's going to be that one. Yep. So we'll see. I, of course, am rooting for the Chiefs today. Because if they were playing anybody else, I'd be rooting against them. But they're playing the Buffalo Bills today. The most hated team in my house in the NFL. It's not just me. My wife can't stand Buffalo at all because she's a Miami Dolphins fan. And they've got a fucking bear claw grip on the fucking division. So they win it every fucking year since the Patriots lost Tom Brady. So, okay. Anything else you want to talk about before we get out of here this week, guys?
No.
Chiefs looking at
Go Bengals.
double-digit wins. Interesting. But they just keep doing the right things, and they're going to do the right things. If Buffalo's going to win today, don't be confused. They have to play a perfect game because the real strength of that team this year, and it has been, if you ask me, since last postseason, is their defense. You cannot make a mistake against these guys. They will jump all over you. They will jump. If they smell blood in the water, they are sharks. They will fucking eat you alive. It's really impressive what they've done. And it's all because they kept that your guy on the front line. What's his name?
Chris Jones.
Yeah, Chris Jones. He's the kind of guy that you can build an entire defense around. You know?
Yeah, and it's like, okay, yeah, we'll double team Chris Jones. We got Karlaftis.
Okay, well then, guess what? Somebody else is coming.
Now we got Uche.
Right?
Yeah, it's bad for other teams.
He says, yes, you could start over. No, not starting over. We got to go. Okay, John, or excuse me, Knock, any last thoughts about this week?
I'm good.
Go Broncos. Go Chiefs. I want to see the West represent today. Yeah. And I know you guys, whether you like the Chargers or not, you want to see them beat. Well, I know John wants to see him beat the Bengals. All right, boys and girls. You're watching NFL Pregame Party. We do it every Sunday, 2 hours before kickoff of your early slate of games. Come hang out with us and talk some football. Real fans talking about football. And then tomorrow morning at 10 a.m. Central Time on Pop Culture Minefields channel, it's Military Monday with Gary Kissel and Anima and Martin, and we're going to be doing the Tomorrow War with Chris Pratt. If you guys haven't seen this, it's a great sci-fi movie, man. Go check it out. We're going to do it on Military Monday this Monday at 10 a.m. Central Time on Pop Culture Minefields channel. Then at 5 p.m. Central Time, it's time for the Brothers Hack the Matrix. Everything you need to know about the clown show that is 2024 through today's headlines. The Brothers Hack the Matrix every Monday at 5 p.m. Central Time. And then Tuesday at 10 p.m. Central Time, it's time for Papa Joe Gamer After Dark, video games, cocktails, and fails. And I continue my screwing up of Brutal Legend. I'm going to try and finish off this game as quickly as possible because everybody wants to see me start playing Mass Effect 2. So as soon as I'm done with this one, we'll switch over to that one, but we got to finish with this one first. Next installment this Tuesday at 10 p.m. Central Time. And then at 5:30 p.m. Central Time, on Wednesday, it's our pop culture show, State of the Atmosphere, where we talk about everything pop culture. And of course, the girlfriend of the show, Sydney Sweeney. State of the Atmosphere every Wednesday at 5:30 p.m. Central Time. And then immediately after our show, go over to That 70s Rock Fans channel for It's Only Talk and Roll. And this week, we're going to be talking about the album Who's Next by The Who. My favorite track on it being Won't Get Fooled Again. We're going to be talking some music this time around, and that's at 7:30 p.m. Central Time on That 70s Rock Fans channel. And then Friday, of course, it's Sketching the Privateer. Everything you need to know about my comic book comes your way at 1 p.m. Central Time every Friday for about an hour before I go to work. I work on the comic book, and you guys get an inside look at it every Friday at 1 p.m. Central Time. And then at 8 p.m. Central Time, it's time for John's Assault on Tale of Two Wastelands Fallout. Check it out on Pop Culture Minefield's channel. Game Night with John every Friday at 8 p.m. Central Time. And then, of course, it's back around to NFL Pregame Party. So, for myself, John Dustwolfen, and my co-pilot, the Knockster, I want to thank you guys for being here. And until we see you next time, I want you to keep on keeping on. God bless.